So many bank switching offers nowadays require you to spend on your debit card a dozen times, transfer in money every single month for 6 months, all sorts of other random requirements. But this one from Lloyds Bank is relatively simple. You just need to transfer over from an old bank account with some direct debits. Then the money is yours pretty fast, within 10 working days of that switch completing. So all in, I think this is probably one of the best switching deals we've seen this year. And not only because of that simplicity, but because the amount of money you get upfront just for the switch, again, without all these extra requirements you've got to do, is £200, which, again, we don't see that amount so often nowadays. The switching offers tends to be around 175 at most, again, with other caveats. So really good one for you guys to be thinking about if you haven't done any switching before to Lloyds Bank, or not many switches at all in the past. Good one to think about. So let me take you through who can get it and how to get it. First of all, and this is sadly the case with most switching deals nowadays, if you have already had switching money from Lloyds Bank or Halifax or Bank of Scotland, because they're all part of one group, since April 2020, sadly you cannot get the offer this time. So that is the sad news for those of you who, like me, are repeat bank switchers. You might really have run out of opportunities. This one's not for you. But if you haven't at all, then you're good to go. And even if you're an existing Lloyds customer, as long as you haven't had switching cash, then you can also take advantage of this. But it might mean you have to change your existing account around, because you can only get this switching money from Lloyds Bank if you open up a brand new account with them of one of the following sorts. This is the Club Lloyds, the Club Lloyds Silver, the Club Lloyds Platinum, or the Premier account. And when they say open up a brand new account, that doesn't mean upgrade from your account you've got right now to a new one. It means it must be brand new application. So if you don't currently have a Lloyds account, or you do have one of their more basic accounts, you've got like a classic account, you've got the standard Premier account, the standard Platinum account, again, without that Club Lloyds suffix on it, prefix, sorry, then you are fine. Just open up whichever of the accounts you want to get, no problems, and go through the other things we'll go through in a moment. If you have a Club Lloyds Silver, a Club Lloyds Platinum, or a Premier account, well, you can't do that because you can't have more than one Club Lloyds account. And if you have a Premier account, you can't have a Club Lloyds account. So what you have to do there, if you want to take advantage of this offer and you have one of those, is you'll need to downgrade that existing account. So you can do that quite simply within the app. So the Club Lloyds just goes down to a classic account. Again, the Club Lloyds Silver will go down to a Silver. The Club Lloyds Platinum will go down to a Platinum. And the Premier one will also, you choose it to go back to a classic account. Once you've done that, your existing account will stay there. It won't disappear anywhere. But it means you're eligible to open up a brand new account in that new format. Sounds relatively simple, but there is another caveat you do have to be careful of here. And that is when you have some of those additional benefits that come with the Club Lloyds accounts. So that could be, as we get to later on, the free year of Disney Plus or cinema tickets, or access to their regular saver, then they will end when you downgrade the existing account. They will cease to be. Now, obviously, you can reactivate when you apply for the new version to get the switching offer, and they'll start again in most cases, so you haven't necessarily lost out too much. The big one here, though, to bear in mind is that regular saver. If you close it before that 12 months is up, you have to wait until that initial 12-month period is up before you can open up another one. So you will be missing out there. And the 6.25% rate on offer is very good, particularly because it's fixed as well. And we know we're in an era right now of falling savings rates and interest rates. So having a fixed one, that security for 12 months is good to have. However, it's not the end of the world. As we've covered over on becleveryourcash.com/savings, there are a number of other regular savers who actually pay more than this. So you could always go, do you know what? If I've missed out here, I'll open up a different account elsewhere to get the regular saver at maybe 7%, 7.1%, and then open up this Club Lloyds regular saver again when that initial 12 months has expired from when I first opened it, if you get my drift. Okay, so let's assume you're opening up this one of these 4 accounts for the first time. You've never had them before, or you've downgraded your existing version of them to open up a new one. What do you do? Well, the switch itself, as I said, is really simple compared to many others that we've seen in recent months and years. You need to switch from a different bank account. So this cannot be from another Lloyds account. It has to be from a different bank, although Halifax and Bank of Scotland are not excluded from this. And that old account that you switch over from will be closed down. That's what happens when you go through the current account switching service. All your direct debits, your money in and out, it's all protected. So a guarantee if anything does go wrong, and it very, very rarely does go wrong at all, you'll get some kind of compensation. But you have to switch over and close that old account. Now, as part of that switch, you must move over 3 active direct debits. So they have to be already live in the old account. You can't set them up in the Lloyds account when you open it they must be live in the old account. Now, 3 is an increase in what we've seen previously. It used to be 2, but the last few iterations of this offer, it has been up to 3 direct debits. Now, if this is an account that you use regularly, then that's probably going to be fine. If you are struggling for direct debits, there are other ones that we've covered previously that you can add on, which are relatively fast to be in there on your account and paid out. And that's something to bear in mind here, the sense of active. What does active mean? It's a grey area. I like to err on the side of caution and make sure that money has already come out of the old account. Now, most of the time, that's not a problem. As long as it's on there and the bank knows it's there, it's okay. But just to be super safe, I like to make sure the money has gone out. So if you do not have those direct debits in the account you're going to switch from, maybe it's a dummy account you've got that you don't use very often, then, as I said, we don't know when this offer is going to end. So be fast. Get those ones in there and paid out so you can then make sure that when the switch completes, they have been paid out. So, and that's pretty much it. The switch goes through, and then with 10 days of that switch completing, you'll get that £200 paid into your account. And then you don't need to keep this account if you don't want to. You can switch again to another bank. You can close it down. You can downgrade it. If you've gone for the likes of the Club Lloyds Silver or the Club Lloyds Platinum, which come with monthly fees for travel insurance, you can obviously downgrade them down to the free versions if you wish. So relatively simple to do all of that. You can only do this once, as is the case with pretty much all bank switching deals. You can only be able to get this on one switch over, so you can't do multiple ones of these. And it's worth noting as well here, if you were to switch into a joint account, then only one offer will be available per that account. So 2 of you can't switch into a joint account and get 2 lots of money. It would just be 1 lot. And if you already switched into a personal account, then you wouldn't get it again for a joint account. So this is if you are a couple looking to switch, do 2 separate switches, okay? And then you'll get 2 lots of money. But as an individual, it's only 1 lot of £200 that you'll get. So that's the switch deal itself. Which of these accounts should you go for? Now, my personal preference, and I think it's going to be the case for most of you, is to go for the Club Lloyds account, just the normal Club Lloyds. This one gives you a freebie for the year, and you get to choose this, and every 12 months you can change what that freebie is going to be. There's Disney Plus with ads for a year. There's also 6 Odeon or View cinema tickets. There's a free Gourmet Society subscription, or there is a magazine subscription. So you can choose which one is best for you. Again, you can only have one of these accounts for yourself. You could open up, if not for the switching deal, but just for the offer, you could open up a joint account in here and get another freebie from that. But we're talking in terms of the switching deal goes, you can only have one of these, of course. So you get that freebie, which is great. You get that 6.25% regular saver that I mentioned, which is fixed, which again is really good for a year. One of the things you do need to know about with this account, it does have a £5 monthly fee. And in fact, any of the accounts with that £5, that Club Lloyds prefix will have this £5 monthly fee. But you can easily avoid that if you pay £2,000 into your account every single month. It doesn't have to be in one go. You can put in £500 4 times, £400 5 times, whatever iteration you want it to be. So that could be the same amount of money goes in, comes out, comes in, comes out. They don't mind that. It just needs to be there cumulatively in total over a calendar month. And that will wipe out that fee. So it shouldn't cost you anything at all. And you can always automate this to make sure it happens without you forgetting, so you don't accidentally get charged £5 a month. The same fee, as say, applies to the Club Lloyds Silver and Club Lloyds Platinum. It can be avoided in the same way. You cannot avoid the additional fees for the insurances that come with those. The Club Lloyds Silver is £11.50, and this is relatively cheap when it comes to these packaged bank accounts which have travel insurance. The reason it's cheaper compared to many of the others is because it's only for European travel. But if you're not going worldwide, and this is going to save you money, as well as those other things that come in the account, like breakdown cover, then maybe that's worth a look. The Club Lloyds Platinum is more expensive, and if you are wanting a current account with worldwide travel insurance, there are other options out there which I think are probably better to look at. But I want to quickly talk about the Premier account as well, because the Premier account requires one of 2 things in order to get this. Either £100,000 in Lloyds savings or investments, which is probably not a good idea because savings rates are going to be better elsewhere. Our investments, you'll probably get lower fees elsewhere, most broadly speaking. But the other way of doing it is to pay in £5,000 a month. And I can't see anything in the terms and conditions that say this has to be in one lump sum. So presumably, like with that Club Lloyds account where £2,000 can be split up, that £5,000 could be split up. As long as you're eligible for the account you apply for and you're successful, that could be 10 lots of £500 going in. So a little bit more admin to do this. But in return, what you get are all the features of Club Lloyds. So you get the freebie, you get the access to the 6.25% regular saver, but you also get 1% cash back. Now, 1% cash back capped at £10 is beatable, kind of. The American Express Nectar credit card will give you 2 Nectar points every £1 that you spend, which is the equivalent of 1%. and that is free in the first year, but then £30 a year after that. So this would kind of be similar to that in the first year, beating it in the second year. And Train 212 often offers an increase to 1% or 1.5%. Right now, it is increased to 1.5% until November. Cash back on your spending there. Again, that is capped, though, every month at £15 as well. So this could be one to think about because it isn't restricted in the same way the cashback from Chase is or other ones that we see. You can do it on most of your spending. So it's worth a look at that. You get all the freebies, as I say, from Club Lloyds, plus that cashback, as long as you pay £5,000 into the account every single month. If you don't do that, there is a £15 fee every single month, which is really not worth it at all. There are some other benefits that come with all these accounts. For example, they're fee-free to spend overseas with Club Lloyds. The Platinum, so the Premier account also has some sort of basic GP access from Bupa, not full Bupa cover, not health insurance, but GP, online GP cover and bits and pieces like that. So it's worth having a look in a bit more detail. But there you go. Get a move on if you are keen to get this one. As I say, we don't know when it's going to end. My name's Andy Webb. Thank you so much for watching. Check out these videos here for more ways to make the most of your money.